Hello, welcome to Chapter 11, Lesson 4. We're going to be doing the mean absolute deviation. What I'm actually going to do, I'm just going to skip straight to the got it portion, because the way the book describes it is, in my opinion, confusing. So we're going to be doing this by chart. So I have all the data of all the fastest birds, the top 10 speeds of the fastest birds. So here's my data, so I have all my numbers from that chart. Now I have to find the mean. So I added all these numbers together, and I have 10 numbers, so I'm going to divide it by 10. So my mean is 78 and 6/10. So I'm going to have 78 and 6/10 all for this chart and down. (78 and 6/10). 78 and 6/10, and 78 and 6/10. So the next thing I need to do is I need to find the difference. And what difference means? That means to subtract. So I'm going to subtract my data from my mean. So I have 88 minus 78 and 6/10. So for example, that's going to be 9 and 4/10. 77 minus 78 and 6/10. This is where we're going to have negative numbers. So it's going to be negative 1 and 6/10. And it's okay if it's negative. We'll get to that part in the next column. So you have 65 minus 78 and 6/10. That's going to be negative 12 and 4/10. So I did make a slight error with the 65 minus 78 and 6/10. It should be 13 and 6/10. So after you find the differences, so you subtract them all, the next thing, if you see the word absolutes, so we're going to take the absolute value of all of our numbers. So the distance away from 0. So that means all of my negative numbers are going to turn into a positive number. Now, once you get the hang of this, you will be able to skip this step because you'll know that all your numbers need to be positive even after you subtract. So now I've found all of my absolute values. So the next thing is, now that I have all my absolute values, I have to find the mean one more time, and that's going to give me the answer. So I'm going to go ahead and add all these up now. So after adding all these numbers together, I get 107 and 2/10. So the count is how many numbers do we have? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And remember, we're just finding the mean again. So I added all my numbers together, and I'm going to divide it by how many numbers there are. So my mean absolute deviation is going to be 10 and 72/100. Now, I just looked at the book. There is a slight error. I'm not going to worry about it, because the main thing you guys need to know is the steps in finding the mean absolute deviation. So, I'm going to explain what this means also. The mean absolute deviation, that's just the average distance between each data value. So the average distance between the data values in the bird speed, if we put it from least to greatest, the average distance is going to be about 10 and 72/100, or it's going to be about 11 if you round. And I am going to give credit where credit's due. I did learn this method, which I highly recommend. My students, you're watching this video, I don't care. You want to find the absolute mean deviation from this guy from YouTube. He's one of this is where I learned this strategy, and it is way easier than what this lesson is going to be teaching us. So I absolutely recommend finding this guy on YouTube. Just put finding the mean absolute deviation on YouTube and you'll find it. But that's the end of the video, so thank you for watching.